Hey, what's up guys? So as we in the last video we created this profiles routes, and now it's time to go ahead and create CRUD functionality inside our application. So let's go ahead and do that. So inside my models directory, firstly I want to go there and I want to create a new file called post.js. So this is gonna contain all the posts inside that. And before heading towards anything, I want to quickly install a package called Mongoose Paginate v2. So Mongoose Paginate v2, and this is a very nice package by MongoDB team, or like it's a kind of upgraded version. So it solves a lot of problems for the pagination and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and install it, and it will be npm install Mongoose Paginate v2. So now it is installed. So inside my post I'm gonna import from Mongoose, and also I want to import paginator from Mongoose Paginate v2. So once we are done doing that, now we'll bring in schema from Mongoose as well as model. So these are the two things that I wanted to get from there. And now we'll create our post schema. So const post schema equal to new schema, and inside that we are gonna pass two options over here. So one is timestamps, we are gonna set that to true, and here we'll define the types, whatever the fields that our post schema will be having. Now we are gonna use this paginator plugin that we just brought in from Mongoose Paginate 2, and the way we can use it as by simply injecting it as a plugin to this post schema. So we can simply say post schema.plugin, and inside that we'll pass our paginator. So that's how we are gonna do that. And then we are gonna define const post equal to model, and that will be post collection inside the database, and it will be using post schema. So we have exported, now we have to export a default. So export default post, and we have exported a default from here. So inside my index.js file we are gonna export this thing default as post from post. Let me save that, and this should do the job. And meanwhile our server is running, so it is not breaking at all, so everything is working just fine as it was expected. And quickly open up the Postman 2. So I'm gonna go to Visual Studio Code. This is Postman, this is Visual Studio Code, and now here I'm going to define the fields of the post. So it should have a title, and our title should be of type string, and required will be true. Without title we won't allow the user to create any post. Then it should have a content in that, and that content should be the same thing. And it is also required, without content we cannot create a post. So that's how we are going to do that. Then we have a likes. So we have a likes, and this will be of a type integer. Actually type will be number, and default will be 0. So this is the likes, and now we will be having a comment section in that. So let's go ahead and create that. So comments, and that comments will be a kind of an array. So each comment should be of a type, should have a text in that, and it is required without any text inside that. Without any text, and it is kind of a string. Without that text we won't allow the user to create that comment. Then the second thing it should have is simply required field. We are gonna put that to true over here, and the second field which I was saying is the user. So whoever is commented to that post will be stored over here. So it will be of type schema dot types dot object id, and it will be referring to the user's schema, users collection actually. So that's how we will define our comments section over here, and I think we are good to go with this thing. Yes, we are good to go. Let me put one more field, that is post image field. So this will be a for not required. If the user don't want to put any image, that is also fine with that. So it will be again a type of image, and we will be reusing our this uploader.js middleware in order to upload the post images. So that's how very pretty straightforward simple post schema is there, and content is there, likes is there, and comments is there. So in the comment we have a text and the users. So this text, whatever the comment is posted by the user will be there, and we are good to go with this thing. So yeah, one more field which this post should also belong to a user, because every post should have a user. So let me shrink this comment section, and we'll create author, and that author will be of type schema dot types dot object id, and it will refer to the user's collection inside the database. So this is the author of the post will be also there, and that's all we need to do with our post schema. So let me go ahead inside my APIs, and inside that I'm going to create a new file called post.js, and in here we are going to define our router. So we'll bring in our router from express, and this will be from router, and this will be express. So from the router, and now we'll define that router. So const router equal to router, and export default this router from here. So now we are good to go with that, and we also will be dealing with our middleware. So from our authenticated middleware, we'll bring in our auth guard, because we won't allow any user to create that post without the authentication permission. So we'll get that. Then we also will import our model. So from the models we'll go to up. From the models we'll bring in our this post, actually not this post, because we are using namespacing over there, so we need not to specify from where we are bringing it in. So from there we are getting that. And now also we might come across this profile, this user schema too. So let me import that too. And I think we need to import one more thing, that is our uploader middleware, because we'll be uploading images. So uploader from to up, we'll get into the middlewares directory, and we'll bring in this uploader. So we brought in all sorts of dependencies that we'll be needing for while, and we are good to go with this thing. So let me create that first. And from one of my files, users.js, I'm gonna quickly grab this thing called description. I'm gonna paste it over here, so it will go to the post/API/create post, and this will be a private route. So we are gonna put that to create a new post by the authenticated user. Okay, so this is pretty straightforward, and in here now we are going to define our first route. So router dot post, and it will be API/create post, and it will take asynchronous function, which is request and response, and let me put async. And now we'll protect it first of all, so we can do that by using our user auth function that we have, a user auth middleware that we created with the help of passport. And now we want to get our image too. So from their image, we'll get that image. Let me put the image stuff aside for now. So we'll create a separate route to put the post images separately. So that will be working just fine for us. And now in here we have an access to our user, requested user, try and catch. We'll put error, return, res.json, and we'll put a message, unable to create the post in case of any error, and there's a success flag that will be set to false. So this is that thing. And now here we'll create a new post. So create a new post. So we'll simply pull in our request, and let's define validation rules for that also. So let's go ahead and do that. Inside the validators, I'm going to create a new file called post validators.js, and just like a check function, I'm going to bring in that, paste it over there, and we will define constants. So one is title equal to check, and this will check the field title. So if there's a title, then it will allow the user to go. Otherwise we'll simply say title is required dot not dot is empty function. We'll call that. It's very simple, straightforward. Then we have a content. So for that, content equal to check, and it will check on the field called content. So content for the post is required. Then we'll put again these two validation checks. So not empty, we'll put that, paste it over there. Then export const post validator later, and it will pass that, we'll pass that array. So title and content will be there. And since we are exporting all from this, so in the same way export all from this file post validators, so we are good to go. So it is exporting this this validation rules that we have just created. So actually let me name it validations. Okay, so validations. Okay, so it will export this from here, and we can grab it inside our file. So we'll bring in that, import from, we'll get to up validators slash post validators, and we'll bring in our post validation rules that we just created, and we'll chain that over here again. So post validations, and I know it's very simple now. And now for to throw the user out, we need this also. So this middleware is also there, validator middleware, so we can bring it from there. Import from to up, we'll get into the middleware directory, and we'll get this validator middleware. And actually I think it was exported default from here, so yes it was, so we'll call it validator. And now we'll chain that again here, so it will stop that request after these checks are not passed. If these checks are succeeding, then only it will go to this function, otherwise it will throw that user out, because here also we have handled it by returning the user there. And we can also put a status of 400, so which can notify that it is a kind of error, so it will give that to all sorts of requests that we have. So validator, we are gonna chain that, and we have chained all the validations that we have. So once we are done with this thing, now let's go ahead and create our new post. So one more thing is there, let me quickly go ahead and create another route that I want to create to upload all the post images. So we are gonna put again the same headers. Let me copy that, post it to upload post image upload, and this will be again a type protected, and here we'll be having a dash and router.post API/posts. Actually, what I'm writing, yeah, it's correct only. So it will go to upload post image upload. So let me copy that and paste it. Okay, so let me copy it again, paste that. So this is a route for that, and we'll chain this with the user authentication. Then we'll pass our request response object that we have. So in here now we can handle our image however we want, but right now it's not handling that image properly. So let me go ahead inside our uploader.js, and I'm gonna create another destination too for our post image uploads. So let me go ahead and do that by simply saying we are going to use the same file name function, but for the destination, post image destination, and it will take again the same whole function. I'm going to quickly copy, but I want to separate out this post images from the user images. So I'm going to put that over there, and it will get into this directory called inside our uploads directory that we have. I'm going to create a new file called posts, or let me name it very specifically post images folder. So this is gonna contain post images folder, and this is there. And now from here I'm gonna export another constant. So export const upload post image middleware, and this will take again the same configuration that we have defined at the bottom, but in here destination part will be changed to our this post image destination middleware that we just created. So let me paste that, and now this is gonna work just fine in the same manner. So that's how it is gonna work, and now it is exported from there. So we can bring it by destructuring it. So instead of this whole uploader thing, I will get that from what do we call upload post image. We'll bring it, upload post image as uploader. So now we are gonna use it as uploader, uploader.single, because we are going to send the single file over here. So, and it will be coming from the post image field that we'll be sending from the server. So it will extract the image from the image field and try catch error, and we are gonna return that response back. So in case of any error, we have paste that, and we'll put a status of 400, which is of unknown error, and here to status of 400. So let me save that. For now I'm gonna quickly shrink that, and now here we are gonna handle our image. So it's very simple. Now I'm gonna simply put that file and append it with the domain. So for that I'm gonna bring in import from to up, we'll get into the constants and we'll bring in our domain from here. So domain, we brought in that domain, and now we'll use that domain in order to create that. So we can let file, and that file is coming from the request dot, actually from the request only, And that file, if I put a console log statement here, file, and we have a file in here, and then we want to return some kind of response. So let me copy the simple response that we have, and we are going to change the status to 200, true, image uploaded successfully. Let me save that for now, and let's check what do we get inside this console. So we have this thing, uploads API, and we'll get in here API uploads posts API slash post image upload route, and now here it's gonna be a post request. Inside the header we should have this token, so let me send that and get that token back, because it's been, time is up for now, and we'll put that new token in there. And inside the body, instead of this all the fields, I'm gonna grab this avatar and put that as the same name from where it will extract our file. So let me copy that. It will extract our file from the image field, and let me send that. So we are getting this, cannot post that. Let me check that, API slash post image. Okay, so that is not sending because we haven't connected this router to our main app. So let me go ahead and do that. So from import post routes, actually post APIs from, we'll get into the APIs directory, and from that we'll bring in the post. And let me copy this post API, so it's gonna use that, and our server shouldn't break, so it is not breaking at all. And let me send that file. Now we are getting that success, and here inside this post image we'll find our image that I just uploaded. So it's my photo, so I'm gonna, and from that where we are getting this thing, file name, so we can make the use of this file name and append it with the normal this uploads directory, because uploads directory is already set as a static inside that. So we just have to append this post images in front of that. So it's a pretty straightforward JavaScript function. So we will simply say let file name equal to file dot file name dot split, and actually not a split, we just have to append our domain. So domain plus, and domain already contains that slash over there, so we don't have to worry about that much. Here we just have to append another string, and in that string it will be this post image. So post images. So this is, now we saved it, and now if I send this request again, and actually it will be the file name. So if I send that request now, we are getting that file name, and and actually one of that will be not there. So if I send that again, and if I go to this route and make another request, we get my image back. So it's a pretty straightforward JavaScript. Functions are working, nothing else is going on here much. So we are simply gonna send that, status is true, and we're gonna make the use of it. So now we can get rid of this thing. Okay, and from the file name we are simply putting that out. And now once we return back this file URL, we can pass that file URL inside our post body. So let's go ahead and do that. And inside in here, now we are gonna create a new request, so let me close and delete all that images that we have. So currently our post images directory is completely empty, and I'm gonna copy another git key file inside that and paste it, so that it will be pushed to the GitHub repository. Okay, so let's go ahead and create a new post. So here it will be very simple and straightforward. Let post equal to await and actually not await, because we have to new post object, and inside that I'm gonna extract first of all let request.body. We'll extract that body and equal to request. So we are destructuring that, and for now let's go ahead and check whatever fields we do have inside that. So inside our models, I'm gonna specifically working with this model. Comments is empty, and this can be nullable, yes. So inside our author field, so author will be request.user._id field. So this will be our author first of all. Then it should have a title and the content field, so that will be inside our body. So I'm gonna put that by simply spreading that body, and then I want to update this post image with this name. So post image will be our body. Actually, I'll send this inside in the body only. So we are gonna spread that, and let me put a console log statement. So console log, right now I'm not saving that inside the database, so new post, and that post is there. So let me save that and make a request first of all. So I'm gonna go to the new tab. Inside the post, I'm gonna put authorization because I have already implemented my auth middleware. I'm gonna copy this user token that we have, paste it inside the authorization field, and inside the body I'm gonna send a raw, and it will be a JSON format. So inside that we have a title that will be our post 1, and then we have a content field. So that content will be, let me put a lorem ipsum text, quickly grab that from this thing, lorem ipsum, and let me go to this generator and copy this. So later we'll put that as a rendered HTML, but right now I'm gonna go with this plain string text. And image path, so let me check that if we have the post image. So it's not an image path, post image field, and that will be simply our this URL that we have just will be getting back from the server. So we'll paste that in there and send that, and request URL is empty because I haven't created it yet. So let me copy that, paste it, create, and this is the route which goes to create post, API/create post. So now if I send that, and it is stuck somewhere, so let me go ahead and check that inside the terminal. Yes, it is. So it is there, author and everything is now created, but that is not saved, and we haven't returned our response here. So for now, return res.json, and we'll send a status of 201, which is of a resource created, and we'll put our message that will be your post is published. So that is there, and we'll pass a success flag. So success will be true. Let me save that, and also we return our post, so that the post that we have just created will return that back. So, and we haven't saved that post. You can see this post was created inside the server. It do have a comment, it has also a post image, and everything is linked there, content, title, and everything is there. Even it has the likes also. So we are gonna save that, await post.save function, and let me save that. And one more quick thing which I want to add as a slug to a post. So what is a slug? Slug is a kind of a identifier inside the URL which which is very handy when it comes to the Google crawling and SEO stuff like that. So I want to quickly go to a function that I'm not going to write at all. So JavaScript slug generator, and there's a simple function for that. So I'm gonna quickly copy that. It's a very nice function, very easy used. So I'm gonna quickly copy this from here, and inside a function I'm gonna create a new file called slug generator.js, and I'm gonna paste that, generate slug, and it will be a constant. So, and it's gonna be an arrow function in that, and return, actually export default slug generator. So it's gonna return this function, actually slug generator function. Let me copy it and paste that. So this function is now exported, and we can make the use of this function. So let me go ahead and use that function. Import slug generator from, and we'll get into the function slash slug generator, and now we'll pass that slug generator. So inside this post model, I'm going to create another field called slug, and it is a required field. So without slug, our user cannot create a post, and that user doesn't have to send at all, because it will be generated automatically by the server. So slug field will be our slug generator, and inside that we'll pass our body.title field. So it will generate that slug automatically for us. And now let me not save this post for now and put a console log statement. So new post equal to post object that we just created, and now if I send that, we are getting that back, that data. And you can also see there's a slug post 1. So inside my terminal, if I go, and this is our new post that I sent, it has a title field with a post 1, and from that title only it created this slug automatically for us. So we didn't have to do a lot of things, it did it automatically. Now we are gonna save that inside a database, and let me comment this out for your reference so that you can view whenever you want to. So this function is very handy, and I'll mention the link where you can get this thing. So that's a lot of work we did so far, and let me go ahead and create a new post. So let me upload an image first of all. So with the help of this token and stuff like that, I'm gonna upload an image. So we get the file name of the image. If I go and paste that, send that, we get that file. So now we can make the use of it in here, paste it and send this. Now we have this post over there. So with a slug, and that is created inside the database. So let me go ahead and quickly show that inside the database. It should have created a post collections also. Currently we have profiles and the users collection. So show collections functions, and right now we have a post collections also. So db.post.find.pretty, and that post is now here inside our database. So that's it. Now we are going to start working on our actually update post route. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm gonna quickly copy this whole header, paste that, and it will be update post, and it is again a private, and the method will be put, And now here user can change the image. So let me go ahead and let me bring in all the validations, because all the validation rules will be very same. Even it will be authenticated route, and it should be also wrapped inside the try and catch block. So router dot put, and we'll go to API slash update post and paste our stuff. Then we are gonna catch that error, and let me save that. I think somewhere I messed up. Okay, actually it will be in one more brackets, so let me save that. So right now we have a API update post with a user authentication, middleware is there, then the post validation is there, then the validator is also there. So in case of any error, we'll return the same response with another message called unable to update the post. And now here we are gonna find that post first of all with the help of that post ID. So here inside the parameters, I'm gonna pass the ID. I'm gonna receive that post ID. So inside this try block, let ID equal to request.params. So from that params, it is gonna extract that ID, and from that request object, I wanna grab user as well as the body from the request. Okay, so from that we have grabbed that thing, and now in here we are gonna check if the post with the ID is in the database or not. So the way we can do is to make the use of this ID. So let post equal to await, because it's gonna query the database, so we have to await for the response from the database. Then we will do our job, find one, and inside that we'll pass actually not find one, we'll use the find by ID method. So here we are gonna pass that ID which we grab from the parameters. And now once we are done doing that, we can simply go ahead and so once we have that post, we will look that if that post belongs to that particular authenticated user. So we'll simply say let, actually not let, if post dot author dot toString, because it will be a object, and if it is equal to request dot, not request dot, it will be user dot ID dot toString. If it is valid, if it is not matching to the author, that means we have to return a response that this post doesn't belong to you. So in that case we will return 401, which is unauthorized, post doesn't belong to you. We'll save that. So post.author.toString function, and inside our post model we do have the author field. So we'll look for this author and we'll match those IDs. If that ID is not matching with that particular user, that means we have to throw that user out, because someone else is authenticated but he is trying to modify someone else's post. So once we are done with that, and now if this check passes, we will simply update our post. So let me go ahead and do that. So we can simply say let, not let, actually we'll update that post only inside the database. So await post dot find one and modify function and update function, and inside that we'll pass our query. So first of all, our query will be author field will be request dot, not request dot, because we have already extracted our user, as well as the ID is the ID of the post that we have grabbed it from our parameters. Then inside that we are gonna pass our updated fields, So we can do that by simply doing the same thing, and we'll also modify the slug. So we are modifying that slug, and with that, if you want to get a new, so we'll pass the new and we'll set that to true. So in this way we will get a new post, and it will automatically update inside the database and will give you back the new post. So once we are done, we'll return a response from the server that will be returned as the JSON, which is of resource 200. Success will become true. Post updated successfully, and return that post too back to the user. So let me go ahead and test that out. Our server isn't breaking, that means everything is working fine, and we have one post. So let me make a new request, and this will be a put request, so it will go to the same, copy it, paste it, update post, then inside the parameters we'll pass the ID of the post that we want to update it. So this is the ID, and we'll post that, and inside the headers I'm gonna put authorization, and we'll use the same token because this post belongs to this user. So inside the headers, let me copy this post token, authorization token, and inside the body we are gonna pass the raw JSON format. Okay, and let me quickly grab that from this one. So we are not changing this post image, paste it, post image will be remain, updated, title is updated, and body's content is updated lorem ipsum. So if I now send that, we can see that post is now updated with this thing and updated this thing, and even the slug of the post is also updated. So that's how we are gonna work with that, and it's working very fine. So now it's time to go ahead and add our like functionality. So we can do that, router.put, because it's gonna change something inside that database. So API / like post, and it will be again an authenticated route, and now here we can update the like of the post, and it will take the ID of the post, whatever the post is updated. So /ID, and in here asynchronous request and response. So this is there, and it should be a protected route. So again, user authentication, user auth middleware that we have, that we can use it here. And now once we are done with that, we can simply try, and we wrap into the catch error, and we'll pass our normal message that we have generic message. So let me paste that, unable to like the post, please try again later. So this is one thing. The second thing inside that, we can simply let ID, or what I'm going to do is simply first of all get rid of this thing, because I need to make some modification. So I also want to, inside this like, I also want to add which user has liked this post. So let me do that, db and for that show collections. So currently we have a post collection, and now we will drop that post collection. So db drop collection, actually db dot drop collection, instead that will pass post collection. Okay, so I think I forgot that. Mongo shell query to drop collection. Okay, so db.collection name and then drop function. So db.post.drop, and it has dropped it. Now if I show collections, we have only 2 collections in there. So I want to modify this likes also. So here what I'm going to do here is wrap inside this thing. So count, and that count will be of a type number, and then also whatever the user has who has liked that. So let me paste that, and by default it will be 0. And actually what I can do, this is not a proper way to do that. So in the likes, what I'm gonna do here is so one way is to put that thing, the other way around is type is number, so it will increment that number. By default it will be 0. Yes, in here we can use that as a object. So whoever user has liked this post, we can directly push that into this users thing. So it will increase the number by 1 after liking it, and in here the liked user will be automatically pushed in. So that's how we can do that. Yeah, so now we'll grab our ID equal to request.params. So from the parameters it will grab that ID, and we'll simply first of all find that post. So we'll pass that post, copy it and paste it over here. If not post, yeah, one more collection, very quick collection is there. So here I also wanted to put one more check. If not post, that means if there's not post inside the database, so we have to return in that case also. So we'll simply say 404 post not found error. So it will, in that case it will return that post. That means that post is not there. So we will simply use that here too. If that post is there, if that post is not there, we will return that back. Otherwise we'll simply go ahead and like that post. So we can simply say post equal to post dot find await, because it's gonna query the database, post dot find one and update. And inside that update, first of all it will take the ID, so it will be coming from our parameters that we have grabbed it over here. And once we are done getting that ID, we'll update that likes part. And third parameter, so it will return the updated post. So new, will set that to true. Okay, so these are the queries which are very, like, once you are hang around with that, these things will work just fine for you and all the scenarios. But for now, just I'm gonna increase the likes. So inside this post collection, let me put that in the other side. Okay, so here we have the likes equal to post dot like dot count plus 1. So we are simply gonna put that, and this is just a count thing. So remember, this post is already there here, and we are just updating that count by 1. And also inside this users equal to this post dot likes dot users, and we also want to append a new user in there. So the authenticated user, so that we can get it from request dot user dot id. So request dot user dot underscore id. So we'll push that user too. So what is happening here, whatever the previous count of the post was there, we are adding it by 1. Then we are spreading existing user values of the like. So whatever the values were inside this array, we are spreading that inside that, and we are then simply adding the whatever the user has just liked it. So this is very straightforward. And let me copy it, paste this response. So inside of resource 200, success will become true. You liked this post. I'm gonna send this simple message. Okay, so that should do, I think. Okay, so we are just finding that post by the ID which we have just passed inside this parameter. So firstly, let's go ahead and create a post, because we don't have any post inside the database so far. And right now you can see this post is there. So this is the new post. Let me copy that post and we'll put that post, and we are going to update that post. So post 1 updated post. Now we are getting this updated post. So if I go ahead and check my database, show collections, so db.post.find.pretty, and we have that updated post. And when the one we created was the post 1, then it is updated, and now we are going to like that post. So we'll simply like that post, and this is again a put request. So let me send that. You like this post. Currently you can see this count is 0 and user is empty array. Now if I rerun this query, so you can see this count is now added 1, but this user field is not working. So let me go ahead and check that. Okay, so user field is not there, and that's because inside our post model you can see this is user, and I am looking for the users. I'm updating this users field. So let me drop this database again. So right now we don't have any post. So let's go ahead and create a one post, send that. We created that post 1. If I go to the database, so you can see this post 1 is there right now. Users is empty. Now we'll update that post. So we'll simply say update post, and now if I send this request, post not found, because that post is deleted. So we have to update the ID of the post. So I'm gonna grab that ID from here, gonna paste it in here. Let me send that, and now that post 1 is updated. So currently it was post 1. Now if I rerun this query, we'll get that updated post, even updated lorem ipsum is there, and now we'll like that post. So let me copy this, make a new request. It will be a put request, paste that. Instead of this update, it will be like, and headers will go authorization, and we'll add our token, authentication token. So let me go ahead and quickly grab that from our authentication one and paste it over there, send that, and you like this post. And now if I rerun this query, you can see this user object is there. So this is now containing this object ID of the like. So, and now if I go ahead and do this once more, so now it should have 2 object IDs in them. But this is not a good approach, so we have to remove that thing and we have to protect that thing in some way. So the way we can do that is by simply, just before updating this thing, we have to check if that ID, whatever we are getting of the authenticated user, is there inside this user's array of this post. So we can simply say check for low dash function. Let me quickly delete these photographs, and there's a low dash. So there's a method called low dash method, because we have already installed that low dash method to check if the value is in the array. actually we can make the use of includes function, so we can make the use of it. So let users equal to, and we'll get that users from post dot likes. So this post is there, and from that we are extracting our users. So this will give the users collection. Actually it will be a user collection. Okay, user collection. And if the authenticated users profile ID, authenticated users profile, authenticated users ID is inside this one, so we can simply say let if not user dot includes method. And okay, one more thing is there. So, dot map, so we are getting map. And we'll return this one. So id dot to string function will call on that, because this id won't be a simple plain string id. So this will give me the users collection, users array with this new id. So let user, and now we can simply likes dot user, actually it will be. And now if we'll check that user dot includes our ID of the authenticated user, so we can simply say request dot user dot underscore ID dot to string function, and in that case we'll return that user out by simply saying that you have already liked this post. So let me copy this, paste that, you have already liked this post. So let me save that, so it will automatically throw that user out from there. So let me go ahead and rerun this whole process again. So firstly I'm going to drop this post collection. So currently we don't have any post inside our database. Now we are going to create one post, so that post one is there. And now if I go and check my database, so that post one is now again created. Now we'll update that post, send that post not found, because this post ID is now updated. So we'll grab the new ID and we'll pass inside the parameters this new ID, send that, and now post one is updated. So if I check the database, so post one is updated now. Even the content is also updated. Now we will like this post with the help of this new ID that we just grabbed in. Send that, you like this post. Now if I again send that, you have already liked this post. So now if I go ahead and check that, we have only one user inside that user's object. So that's how we are gonna do with this like thing. I know it was a lot of code, so I think that's a good time to stop for now, and in the next video we'll start working on deletion, which is very straightforward. So let me put the headers before signing off this video. And this is the put like post, and to update a post by authenticated user, to like a post by authenticated user. And that's it for this video. In the next video we'll start working on the comment section, deletion of the post, deletion of the comments, liking, unliking of the post. So stay tuned with my channel. Hope you like this video, and your support is making us your support pushes us to create more videos. So thank you guys for your support. Thank you.